So, boys, let's put this on.
Is that there's nothing worthy of worship, praise, glory, submittance to, other than Allah, the creator of everything. Yeah? That's the first proposition. Do you accept that proposition?
Yeah, I believe in a creator.
Yeah. See, belief in a creator is one thing. Believing you should submit and surrender to that creator and follow his guidance and will is another.
Yeah.
All right? So I always say when someone says I believe in God, I say, well, the devil also believes in God.
Yeah.
So believing something exists is not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah? It's God doesn't care whether you believe he exists, whether you follow his guidance. All right?
Yeah.
So when I say about the only thing worthy of surrender, submittance, and worship, and that, it's meaning that there's nothing else. So I wouldn't turn to a man or a statue or an object and think this is worthy of my praise. This is going to help me. This is going to benefit me.
Yeah.
I truly, honestly believe the only thing that will benefit me in the long term as well as the short term is that creator that you say you believe in. I don't think nothing else can challenge that.
Okay.
Right. So that's the first proposition. Now, to be honest with you, if someone accepts the existence of a creator, that's an easy proposition to accept. Because if you imagine the criteria this creator must possess, must be all-powerful, all-knowing, all of these things. So, of course, that would be the thing that you would follow guidance from, especially something that's all-knowing. All right. I'm pretty sure you accept that proposition. All right. The second proposition is that Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, is a messenger of this creator. Yeah? So you accept that this man Muhammad was sent by this creator. And everything that this Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, is saying is coming from the creator you say you believe in.
Okay.
So this is the second proposition. It's a tougher proposition.
So that's the proposition where currently I haven't looked into it enough.
Right.
And yeah, so
I can give you a 5-minute guide to it. It's very simple. Yeah. You can go away and contemplate and reflect upon. No worries. Okay. What is the claim? Okay. The claim is that Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, is a messenger of God. Yeah. What is the counterclaim? God doesn't exist, so he can't be a messenger of God. First thing. Second thing, he's a liar, creating his own religion to benefit himself. Third claim, counterclaim. He's a madman. He's crazy. He's delusional. He thinks he's being taught by an angel when he's just all in his head. It's a schizo. Fourth counterclaim. And this counterclaim, the fourth one, only comes from whom? Christians. It was Satan. It was, the father of lies, imitated an angel, pretended to be an angel, and Muhammad fell for it. And okay. So you have a claim he's a messenger of God, and the counterclaims are what? He's a liar, he's a madman who is deceived, or there is no God, and he can't be a messenger of God, which would include liar or whatever. All right. Okay, Sherlock Holmes. Have you heard me quote this before?
yes.
When you eliminate what's impossible, what is left, no matter how improbable, has to be the truth. Because we believe in this life of the concept of the absolute truth, the absolute reality. And by that I mean, there are some people who claim that Earth is flat. There are some people called the Flat Earth Society, right? Actually, I'll use a different example. There are some people who believe man landed on the moon. And there are other people who challenge the idea that man landed on the moon, saying, oh, there was cameras, there was mirror, there was no wind on the moon, or whatever. So the reality is this, either man did land on the moon or he didn't. Whether you know that reality is another story, but it can only be one or the other. So if man didn't land on the moon, then he didn't land on the moon. You understand? If you claim he landed on the moon, you can believe that. If you claim he didn't, but it has to be one or the other.
Yeah.
All right. So once we have that concept, we can apply this now to what we're saying. So either Muhammad is a messenger of God, or he's a liar, or he's a deceiver, or he's a madman, or he's deceived by the devil.
Yeah. All right. And when you say messenger of God, because Moses and Jesus are also messengers.
Yeah, of course. All right. So let me add the phrase last and final.
An actual special.
Last and final. Last messenger.
Last messenger.
The only messenger of God that claimed to come for all of mankind. No other messenger did that. Jesus didn't claim to come for all of mankind. Moses didn't make that claim. But when the Quran makes that claim about Muhammad, and if you look at his actions, he sent a delegation to Rome, Persia, and Egypt, calling them to worship the one God. Now, this is evidence that he's calling Egyptians and Persians and Romans who don't believe in. You understand? Yeah. If you look at Jesus, go ye not to the Gentile, enter not the city of the Samaritan, I have not been sent but to the lost sheep of Israel. You watch Jesus preaching only to Jews and such. So when we say he's the last and final messenger, he was the only messenger sent to the whole world. but he was the last and final messenger.
Okay.
All right. So let's use Sherlock Holmes now. Let's eliminate what could be impossible. All right. When we say impossible, we can't prove it's impossible, but our rationale will tell us. All right, let's start with the easiest one to get rid of. It's the devil. It's the devil pretending to be an angel. So he did have a supernatural experience in the cave, but this supernatural experience wasn't what he thought it was. It was a devil imitating an angel to deceive Muhammad, so he would go and deceive the people. Okay.
Is this experience you're talking about the Quran, yeah? The revelation?
The revelation of the Quran, the initial revelation in the cave, because obviously the whole of the Quran starts from the revelation in the cave. So either in that cave, an angel came, a demon came, nobody came, and if nobody came, he lied about somebody coming, or he didn't lie, he was delusional.
Okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. All right. Because then the Quran took 23 years to come. All right. But this is the origination. So if the lie started there, we'll see if the lie started there. If the madness started there, we'll see if the madness started there. If the demonic deception started there, we'll see if the demonic deception there. Or if an angel came and visited him there, we'll see that also. Yeah? Because we're going to eliminate them one by one. All right. And I can do this quickly, don't worry. It's not going to be a long thing. It's crazy. All right. Let's get rid of the devil. All right. The only people who believe a devil came to Muhammad is whom? Christians.
Yeah.
No one else makes that claim.
Yeah.
Atheists will never make that claim. They don't believe in the devil. Okay. So let's deal with that claim. According to the Bible, according to what Christians believe in the Bible, when Jesus speaks, he says Satan cannot oppose himself. A house that is divided cannot stand. So Jesus, when he's accused of using a devil, pretending to exercise demons, when in fact it's a demon doing it, and he's accused of that by the Jews, Jesus clearly says Satan cannot oppose himself. Right? So according to Jesus...
I wasn't expecting you to use the Bible to back up your...
No, because the Christians are making this argument, you see.
Okay.
So I'm going to refute them with their book, isn't it? It's the easiest way to do it. So a Christian comes with that argument, and according to the Bible, Jesus cannot oppose himself.
Yeah.
The Quran opposes... Sorry, Satan cannot oppose himself. The Quran opposes Satan, curses Satan, warns you of Satan, tells you to seek refuge from Satan. So... according to the teachings of Jesus in the Bible, Satan cannot be the author of the Quran because the Quran opposes Satan. Simple.
Okay.
So we can dismiss that. And it's only the Christians will come with that, but they're so hypocritical with what they do anyway. And not that I'm saying this is true what the Bible says, but they believe the Bible's true, therefore this is their book. Why are you not adhering to what you... So if your claim is this, your own book refutes your claim, therefore please throw your claim away. Anyone else making a claim? No, right. Continue. Told you it's the easiest one to dismiss. Let's go with liar. Next one is Muhammad ﷺ had no revelation in the cave. There's no such thing. What he did, he pretended that an angel came to him, and he came and told the people, an angel came to me and told me to do this and told you to stop worshipping idols and we should worship one God, and it's all a lie.
Okay.
All right. First thing we need to ask, why did people lie? What's the motive? Money and power? Okay. Let's look at, first of all, did Muhammad ﷺ have that motive? Yeah?
Was he high up in the political...
His uncles were the custodians of the Kaaba.
So he could have motive.
No. His uncles were the custodians of the Kaaba, meaning his family already had the power in Mecca.
Okay.
First thing. Second thing, he was married to the richest woman in Mecca.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's got money.
He's got money, and he's already got the potential of status. Third thing.
They also offered him.
Yeah, I'll come to that. Yeah, and when he was calling to the one God and telling the people to stop worshipping these statues, the Quraysh, his uncles, said to his uncle who loved him, who was closest to him, who brought him up, said, look, go to your nephew, tell him we'll give him his weight in gold, mountain of gold, and any woman he wants to marry and status in the city, just stop telling the people to worship this one God. Basically. And when they came to him, he responded, if they were to give the moon, put my moon in the left hand and the sun in my right, I would never give up this call. So he was offered riches, he was offered fame, he was offered whatever he wanted to stop doing this. Now we know, and then we can look at the life of him and what he was known as. He was known as the trusted one, the one who you could rely upon to leave your goods with if you were traveling, and he would take care of it. And when you come back, he wouldn't steal anything, basically. He was the one who you would go to if you had a dispute amongst you to arbitrate. This is pre-Islam. This is pre-prophethood. So we have his nature. So the question needs to be asked, he's gone from 40 years of being a truthful man, who everyone trusts.
And can I ask, how do you know what's about Muhammad? Is that through the Quran?
No. This is through the history.
Through history.
Yeah, we have the hadith, which is the sayings and the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ and the historians and such. So it's not everything like the Quran is not like the Bible where it tells you what Muhammad did and where he went and what he said and who he spoke to. That's not what the Quran is. The Quran is from Allah. The teachings of Muhammad come through the hadith and through what his companion said he did. Very similar to the Bible, the New Testament, but the difference being is when we hear something that the Prophet did such and such a thing, we would ask, well, who said that? And this person said that, and this person said that, and this person said that. Okay. Were they reliable? Were they trustworthy? Were they there? Okay. The New Testament, we don't have that. We don't have that chain. We don't know who started it. Yeah. So we can't even verify whether the person telling you that thing is actually telling you the truth. We can't even verify whether they were there. So how if we don't how to say they were there, and we don't know if they were truthful, how do we know what they're saying is the truth? So we have this system. Okay. So going back. So and when the Quraysh, when they heard this Quran being recited, they sent their best poets to investigate where's he getting these words from, because we know this man, he's illiterate. He can't come out with this stuff. Where's he getting it from? Their response was, we know he's not a liar, and we know he's not mad. It's magic. Now imagine this, right? You've sent poets to go and hear this Quran being recited, and the only conclusion they come, it's supernatural. So there was something in those words that was supernatural. Okay. I personally believe we can leave lying at this point, because what we have to understand is this. When he came with this call, he was rejected, he was persecuted, they suffered, the people who followed him suffered, they were exiled in the desert to starve to death. The people were told you can't marry the Muslims, people were told you can't sell bread to them. Basically, they tried to starve them in the desert. Now I ask you, would a man who knows what he's saying is a lie, would give up all his status, give up all his position and power, his wealth, and for a lie? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Okay, so I personally believe I can bin that. Then we could come to mental, crazy, delusional, seeing visions, not there. Well, when we look at what the Quran teaches and what it contains, and then we look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and the order and structure of everything, and the way that the Quran will fit 21st century man like a glove, if we follow its guidance, yeah, it's something that can surpass every age. For me,
this is something I would accept now. Is that a lot of the stuff that's mentioned still holds weight now? So,
yeah, completely. Even this thing about marriage age. You know, you must have heard about the early age of Aisha and stuff like that.
Of course.
All right. What's the marriage age in the Quran? There is none. But what is there? Mental and physical maturity for marriage. So, if you applied the Quran back in the day, let's say 12th century England.
Well, I think even 150 years ago, no?
I'm saying 12th century England. Yeah? In 12th century England, in Blighty, in London, you could marry a 6-year-old and consummate the marriage when she was 9, because that was the standard. Okay. Now, for me personally, in England, 18 is too young. I personally believe for marriage. They're not mentally ready. Especially now because of the X Factor generation and Love Island and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not ready to be wives and mothers and such. They're kids. I see 18-year-olds like 18, like 12.
No.
Yeah? So the Quran will apply to that. But now if I go to Africa, deepest dark African tribe, and the girls there, once they mature, that's it, they're women and they get married, then the Quran can apply there also.
Okay.
You understand?
I do.
So that in itself, it shows you that this is meant to try.
And who decides whether a girl?
Well, it would be the parents of the child, the girl, obviously. It will be the judge or the qadi who's performing the ceremony.
The girl herself can refuse.
Yeah,
The girl herself can say, I don't want to get married now. And like, she shouldn't be forced into it.
because I discovered something the other day. I didn't even think about it before until recently because of all this Islamophobia stuff. Yeah, that this country allows sex with children, permits it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, a 16-year-old's a child. An 18-year-old is an adult. So what this country does, it allows you to have sex with a child that they deem is old enough.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an adult. All right. If you go to Portugal, you can have sex with a 14-year-old. Because they deem their 14 is okay. So what's going on here? You're allowing sex with children here. Yeah? So in Islam, it doesn't work that way. You can't just have sex with a girl. You've got to marry her, mate. And you're not going to marry a girl. You're going to be a wife, which is like, what?
And it doesn't make sense to me to have for the country decide at legal age, and then, like you say, in 50 years' time, it might change.
Yeah.
And everyone's calling someone else a paedophile.
Well, look, if I said to any Englishman today, sex with a 14-year-old, hey, you're pedo, well, go to Portugal, mate, it's all right. So who are you to say it's a pedo when you go there, it's not? See, morality can't even cross the sea, mate. Can't even cross the English Channel. How's it going to cross 1,400 years? Yeah. Now, me personally, going back to the age of Aisha, I don't believe she was 6 and 9. To be honest with you.
Can I ask, why did you bring up the age of Aisha? Did you assume that it was a misconception for me, or
It's a normal. It's a normal.
I've heard
I'll explain something, Jordan, and I'm a very honest. Yeah, I'm talking to you. and I'm also talking to the world.
Okay.
Right? And there are people in your position who might have heard this misconception.
I'm one of them. Yeah.
Right? Now, you might have reconciled it, but there are people who haven't. So, I do twofold thing here. Yeah?
Okay.
Do you get me? I'm talking to you and I'm talking to anyone else who's in your position. Because you wouldn't believe, Jordan, how many people message me, English lads, watching this English geezer in the park, talking religion. Right? You get me? Their mind is like a pop. Because he's talking. If I was like in a dress and a topi on and a miswak in my hand, you'd think, oh, he's just coming Arab. He wants, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
but when you see,
like I said, when I first looked into Islam, you're the first face that came up on my YouTube.
oh, fantastic.
So it was the Dawah channel.
Yeah.
It was your stuff. That's how I first started learning, and I think the thing that attracted me originally it was just to speak to my 6-year-old niece. That was
Masha Allah,
originally
that's
what it was
good,
for. But then I noticed that you were anyone that had a question for you, you were answering, and I'm aware you're a good debater, but no one seemed to get one over on you, which was what for me was. It kept me watching and watching.
And that isn't easy here, you know that.
No, I know.
That isn't easy, because you don't know who is going to open their mouth and say what.
This is my second time at Speakers Corner, and my first time, it was literally everybody was just going for Islam. It was like, it was just like everyone against Islam. It
is that way.
Battlefield.
It is that way.
I didn't want to come back, to be honest. I mean, you said you were coming back today, so it was one of the reasons I came.
Oh, you got the people with semblance today.
Yeah.
See, the thing is also there is that it can either be the debater who's very good at debating.
No, and I can see past that. You can see Hamza's a good debater.
But it could be the strength of the message itself.
Yeah.
Which actually, for a person's own innate conscience, actually is very appealing. It's attractive.
Yeah.
Because, you know, many of the things that you may have seen or heard or whatever, or other people may see on
all the standard ones that I saw was beat your wife.
Yeah.
And I saw all those videos.
You know, people are afraid of that subject, beat the wife, age of Aisha, and all this stuff, yeah. Now me...
And I was worried for my niece. That was why I looked into it. I thought, oh, she's going to be a Muslim, she's going to be a Muslim guy, she's going to have no rights.
Yeah.
No.
You know, that's what
the problem,
people like me...
do you know,
I wouldn't class myself as a dumb bloke. That's people what we
But do you know
believe,
whose fault that is? And I'm sorry, guys.
I would say mine.
No.
I would say.
I'm being honest.
You've got to look into it yourself.
I blame, sorry guys, the sub-Indian continent, yeah, because what it... no, you know, India.
Yeah.
All right, because what you got to understand...
Hold on a second.
I'm giving these guys a slap now. No, what you got to understand is this, you see. Before the Muslims of Pakistan and Bangladesh and all these places were Muslim, they were Hindus, yeah? Now, if you look at Hinduism and the way women are treated in that religion, it's despicable, yeah? You know, the woman was burned on her husband's funeral with his possessions and such.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's disgusting, mate. The way women were treated, all right. And I have to admit, from what I've seen, and this is the only way I can reconcile it, when I see how some
There's misogyny in my background in Christianity.
No, agreed. But what I mean is this. Whenever I see a subjugated Muslim woman, it always appears for me, my perspective, maybe it's because of where I live, I don't know, it's the sub-Indian continent. I don't see suppressed Somali women. My missus is Moroccan, yeah?
I wouldn't have to do that, will I? No. Go on.
I don't see suppressed Moroccan women. I don't see suppressed Algerian women. Suppressed Turkish women. The only Muslim women I see oppressed is sub-Indian continent. And when I look at the background to it, I can understand where that misogyny might have crept in with the culture. You understand? Because
also, Hamza, you know what it is? Is that
I know, I'm not generalising, but
what I'm saying is inherently, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. And so men have been, you know, in a powerful position economically, physically, and they will use whatever they can at their reach to enable them to maintain that power. And so if it means misrepresenting religion
exactly
to suppress their wife, they'll do it.
Yeah.
If it means a political situation or just physical brute, you know, unfortunately mankind looks for things, even if it means misrepresenting them or misinterpreting them, just to feed their own presuppositions.
Exactly.
I am the man, I wear the trousers, you know. And if you want to be like that, then yes, you will find things in Islam to misrepresent, misinterpret, ignore some of the sayings of the Prophet, ignore some of that, and justify your actions. But that's something innate within all human beings. So,
and I would accept that men and women are not equal; they are different.
Of course.
What we say is that they're not equal. We know that they're equitable. So each has their rights.
But modern day England, I'd say, would say equal rights and all that. And I think that's a dangerous path to go down.
I've made this claim in the past, and it's quite controversial when I say it, and I'm saying this on camera. I believe there wouldn't be so much unemployment if women were all taking care of the kids.
No, but also,
Because they're taking the men's jobs.
no, but Hamza, in Islam,
I know it's
women
that.
are equal.
Equitable.
No, women are equal in terms of value and worth to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
No, that's different.
No. But however, they are
They have
not the
different roles,
same. They're not the same. So even in the Quran, Allah mentions the man and He mentions the woman in different places of the Quran, but He mentions them exactly the same number of times, showing that in Allah's sight they are equal. But they are, they have different roles in society, as you're saying. And
Can I drag it back to the main point?
Yeah, of course.
Go on.
Yeah, because we're going right back to madman and craziness and all. I don't know how we were there. So the point here is this about. Oh yeah, I know how we got there actually, because we ruled out he was possessed by a demon, fooled him, and we've ruled
out he's a liar.
Ruled out as a liar. We're on madman, innit?
Ruled out Satan.
No, Satan went first. Yeah, so we're on the madman now, and the reason we brought all this stuff up was showing you the structure of what he brought is not the result of a madness. Yeah, it's too. Dare I say it, perfect. Islam is, not Muslims. Muslims are people. Yeah, you get me? But Islam, the teachings, for example, if your niece practices Islam, don't be offended by what I say now, but she could never be a prostitute.
No.
And she could never be a drug addict, and she can never be a gambling addict, she can never be an alcoholic. Do you understand? Yeah? Inshallah, if she practices Islam, she's going to get married, give you nieces and nephews, inshallah.
Point, but I've obviously, the fact that she may wear a hijab one day originally scared me.
Okay.
Now I'm actually quite happy about it.
Oh,
We'll talk about that
alhamdulillah.
later.
Yeah. So going back, so would you agree we can throw madness away?
Yes.
What's left?
And there's also
When they
a
tell the
reason.
truth.
No, we did that.
There's
What's
also
the-
a reason about madness is that a madman will say things that he believes to be true because he's mad. He can't differentiate between what is true and what is not true. And the message doesn't last for 14 centuries and spread amongst the most intellectual circles of society today. So, for example, in England, the average qualification of converts is postgraduate educated people. That message, a madman's message, will not appeal to people of knowledge and understanding. They'll reject it because they'll recognise.
So we can
crazy.
reject madman, yeah? What's left?
Is accepting, isn't it?
When we eliminate what's impossible, whatever's left, no matter how improbable, has to be the truth. So it can only be messenger of God. He is a messenger. Now, unless you don't believe in God, then of course you could rule that out as well. But then we wouldn't start with the second proposition. We start with the first proposition, creator.
But can I ask you? Obviously, you were in the same position as me.
Yes.
And you believe you accepted the creator first.
Yes.
And then you started looking into Islam.
Yes.
When did Prophet Muhammad come into it? Was it just that? Did that then?
Well, actually, you fought against Islam first.
2
didn't
years,
you?
mate. 2 years, mate.
You
know what I said about me,
against
debater, mate? I'm a debater, mate.
He was fighting. He was fighting Islam.
You know why?
to
Because
fight Muslims.
Islam was going to cost me everything. That was the whole point. Yeah. Because I had a girlfriend who didn't want to accept Islam, didn't want to be a Muslim's wife, didn't want my daughters being brought up as Muslims.
How did you accept Muhammad? Because what you just said to me makes sense.
Well, exactly what you...
But it doesn't necessarily make me think, oh yeah, all of a sudden, it makes me think.
Well, it
wow,
should do.
It doesn't
But
make
it should
me think,
do.
It makes me think it's a very valid thing
Well, no,
to
well,
say.
look, you see, we're not playing semantic games here. We talk about reality here, yeah? And I just give you, we talk about absolute reality, yeah? And like we talk about man landing on the moon, either man did land on the moon or he didn't. It's one or the other, yeah? One or the other. With regards to Muhammad, I spread it out, didn't I? Either a demon deceived him, either he lied, either he was mad, yeah? Either God doesn't exist and he's not a messenger of anyone, or he's a messenger of God. Now, you accept there is a God, yeah? So we can reject the idea that he's not a messenger of God because there's no God. You get that. You accept he can't be a liar. You accept that, yeah? You accept he's not mad. You accept he's not demon-possessed or being deceived by a demon, because you're a Christian, and if you were a Christian, the Bible would refute you. So just as man either landed on the moon or he didn't, Muhammad is a messenger of God. Now, Whether you can embrace that reality is the story. You get me? Because what does that entail? No, you've got to understand the gravity of what you're admitting here. That this man Muhammad was sent by the Creator to guide me. Why would I be so stupid not to listen to what he had to say? Why would I be so stupid not to follow what he had to say? Because he's like a king sending a messenger. The messenger is representing the king, and the words in that message are from the king. And then you insult the messenger, you insult the king. Isn't it? I'm talking about in that stance, all right? So when Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam comes with a message from the Creator, you should be buzzing. You should be like, really? The Creator has actually communicated and guided us and shown us a way? And then your next question, what is that way? And you see that way and you think, you know what? That makes sense. So then my next question would have to be, why am I not accepting that?
But you didn't answer my question
Go
about what changed it for you then, because you were similar to me.
All right.
Surely someone didn't just say this to you and you went, bang, yes.
I'll tell you what happened to me.
Go on.
Someone did say it to me, obviously not as articulate. Well, someone implied this, okay, and I reflected upon it and I became convinced, you know. Fair enough.
Steady on.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was like, well, you're right, because, you know. So anyway, she made her choice, and it's worked out for her. But the funny thing is, she met a guy just like me. All right. Now me, I'll say it again. Everything that I give up has been replaced with better. Everything. Friends are now brothers. The pub is now the mosque. Yeah. My work from finance, you know, I would have gone down with the finance, you know that. You know when all that subprime lending thing went down, I would have gone down with it. You know, all them lenders were getting hits, Southern Pacific and Kensington Mortgages and all that. They were all my lenders. So my business would have gone down the Swanee if I still did it, because they were what I based it all on. Right? All this was PPI. We used to sell PPI left, right, and centre to everyone. All right,
It was all his fault.
that's it.
Owe me money.
Yeah. But now my business now is, it used to be selling Islamic goods, but now I just sell, you know, skirt, hijabs and all that. That's my business. And it's my passion, and I love it. So that was replaced. My Sunday pub football replaced with Friday night 7 or 6-a-side football. Everything. My girlfriend replaced with a wife. Yeah, my daughters, alhamdulillah, I've got 2 daughters again now, who think I hand the moon at night. You understand? There's nothing I regret in that sense, yeah? And it was all on a promise that I give up everything, I put myself in your hands, and subhanAllah, the promise is fulfilled. So I would say to anyone now, don't wait for a near-death experience. You know why? Because that could be a death experience. Yeah? That could be a death experience. And then you ain't got a chance to, should do this, that, and the other, because it's too late, yeah? And I'll leave you with the beautiful teaching of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We're going to go eat anyway, yeah? You're going to come with us, yeah? All right. The Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said this: when you wake up in the morning, don't expect to go to sleep at night. When you go to sleep at night, don't expect to wake up in the morning. Live every day as if it's your last, because it could be. And when you go to the graveyards and you look at the ages on the tombstones, it ain't all 45-year-olds, 55-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 23-year-olds, 21-year-olds. How old are you?
34.
34-year-olds. Yeah? Die. Rich people die. Poor people die. Fat people, thin people. Everyone's going to die, man. But guess what? We all have this clock above us. Imagine like a Die Hard movie with the bombs ticking to 0. Everyone in this park now has a timer above them. And every breath you take and every beat of your heart is a second closer to that timer hitting 0. And once it does, it's all over. Now you might have 25, 30, 50 years left. You might have 3 weeks. You might have a day. We don't know. But guess what? It is going to hit 0. And the question needs to be asked, if you believe a creator exists, then what's going to happen after? Is this just it? The creator created everything, it? Tormented us, punished us, give us trials and tribulations for nothing? But then when you hear the messenger of this creator, no, that ain't the case, mate. This messenger says what? Don't be heedless. Don't think it's the end. What does Allah say? What does the creator say to the messenger in the Quran? We did not send you as a dictator over them, O Muhammad. Merely a warner. So all the Quran is a warning to you, Jordan, that this life is not it. And get ready, inshallah. Jordan, take care.
One last thing I'd just like to add at the end.
Oh no, that's it. Come on, that was like a movie. C'est fini. Fini.
The reaction of people around. We're told that Allah will question the person who stays silent.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm gonna hug you again, my brother. How is everything, man? It's been a long time.
What conversation going on here, bro? I'm sorry. I can't complain. You know what I mean?
How's your Islam going on?
Oh, yeah, really good, really good. I mean, pray.
You coming to eat with us? You coming to eat with us?
Depending on what time.
Well done, Abbas, please.
I don't care about what people think, what they say, how will they perceive me. But Allah on that day will say to us, it was better for you to have feared me. And that's something to sort of...
I think that's what I was trying to get out of Hamza at the end. I didn't want to keep badgering about it. The question was, obviously, he said that he sort of accepted Islam,
Yes.
and then he had the near-death experience.
Yes.
So I was kind of wondering what held him back, and I was wondering
Yes.
possibly it's because of that, because
Yes.
worried about
So
it.
for a lot of
I mean,
people it's
hindsight
that.
now you can look back and everything's been replaced. It's good.
You know, my
Time,
wife
it was
converted to Islam 3 years before I met her. She's a mashallah, very educated woman, European, you know. And I said, why? I was interested. I said, what made you convert to Islam? I said, did you read the Quran? And she said, no, I didn't read the Quran. She said, I just studied the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And I knew that this was none other than the Prophet that we had been foretold in our own scriptures, in the old scriptures, the Torah, in the Jewish scriptures. I recognized that this was the person that was spoken about. And so that was enough for her. She converted. Mashallah, she's read the Quran afterwards, but that was enough. But for different people, it will be different things. You know, so for one woman, she might see a Muslim man praying. She'll find that so beautiful that, how do I become Muslim? She'll accept Islam. But for somebody else, it's something else, you know?
And I think I'm probably quite lucky in a sense. My sister wears the hijab. My sister is a Muslim. She's a Turkish father. So my family's already had to accept it.
Yes, yes, yes. So the question now...
It's still a scary.
So the question... Hamza didn't ask you the question.
I was going to
Hamza didn't ask you the question. Hamza! Where's Hamza? Brother, you missed the most important question at the end. Which was that, mashallah, you know, the brother obviously accepts everything, right?
Yes.
So what now stops him from verbally accepting it and
why is that?
accepting Islam? That's what I...
something does.
See, here's you got to understand, Jordan. Right? All you do when you take your shahada is bear witness to what you believe. That's all you're doing. Yeah, you're actually, but you know when you go to become a British citizen, yeah, it's a formality. You know, yeah, exactly, formality. Like for example, if you're living in England, yeah, you could live in England 50 years from another country, but until you go take your citizen oath, you're never a British citizen, yeah. So it's not the length of. So basically, that's all shahada is. Yeah, and a flower don't go in a day, and like we said to you, and if you truly believe this, bear witness to that, and start your journey.
And trust in Allah after that.
Yeah, because what's going to change, honestly, really, in reality? Nothing. You might start changing your habits. Obviously, the alcohol will probably go, because you think, you know what, my Creator has warned me against this. I'd be stupid to ignore my Creator. Just for example, yeah. You don't have to go to your family. I'm a Muslim. Oh, there's so many cameras.
It doesn't help.
But I'm saying you don't have to declare it to the world. Yeah, it's between you and your Creator. Yeah. And mashallah, like I say, I always say to people, look, if you truly believe, if you believe those two propositions, forget winged horses. Yeah. If you believe those two propositions, that is what will make you a Muslim.
And you understand my difficulty because it took a near-death experience for you to accept.
Of course.
But I think my cost was a lot more than yours.
I agree.
What I was leaving behind was another level. And also, nobody spoke to me like I'm speaking to you. In that sense, yeah. I didn't. If someone spoke to me, an English person, I would honestly, if an English geezer like me told me that he was in my position that time and this happened to him, I probably wouldn't have waited. I probably wouldn't have waited for that near-death experience. Yeah. But because no one had that, had done that for me, I didn't have that, did I?
I've travelled here from Hertfordshire to see you today.
Okay, alhamdulillah.
So again, the question. What stops you from verbalizing what you already have
That's what
in
I'm
your
saying
heart?
to you. I mean, do you want to leave here as a believer? And get on with your journey?
I would like to go home and ponder. I wouldn't. I mean, I'm going to be coming back.
Because here's what I always say.
I wanted to come today and just peer from the background, maybe see one of your
Ain't gonna
plays
happen,
and then
mate.
run off.
Ain't gonna happen.
And Allah had something else in store for you.
I've got some literature for you anyway. Okay, but here's.
I feel like I don't know enough.
But here's what I'm going to say to you.
I'm not somebody that can just listen to somebody and take something.
Agreed.
Even though you're very, very.
No, reflect upon what's been said.
I have to take.
But what I was going to say to you is this: you see, if you believe those two propositions, I will say this to you. Nothing you read, nothing you watch, nothing you hear is going to convince you of those two propositions because you're already convinced. Do you understand? So all you're going to do is delay yourself. Yeah? And what did I say to you? That's all Satan has left for you. Procrastination. Delay you.
Repeatedly. Just to make a small point.
Yeah.
The reason they're asking you repeatedly is that the only difference that making the statement that you testified as only Allah is worthy of worship and that Muhammad is his messenger, peace be upon him, the only difference it makes is these are the keys for paradise. So whatever happens from this point forward, whether you, and God forbid you're on the way home and you have a near-death experience, or even a death experience, or whether you go home and your journey then has begun and it's a very long and slow journey where you sort of take. What you've done is this two-pronged attack from Satan, i.e. one is to delay you and the other thing is to put you in a position where you sort of start to get doubts about things that have already become clear, because that can happen as well when you reread things. A doubt that you didn't have before can suddenly come. So this is a two-pronged attack from Satan.
Yeah, because he's not just delaying you, he's going to mess around with what you've been told.
You've been told.
I agree. And for me personally, and this is no disrespect, if I was to do something like a shard, I wouldn't be doing it in an audience. I wouldn't be doing it.
That's what we're going to go eat. Anyway, let's go eat.
Restaurant is okay then.
Let's make that decision.
It was a pleasure to meet you, brother.
You can eat with us.
Come with us.
You coming with us, man?
Oh, he's coming with us. Come on then. Okay.
So what's your name? You're coming with Jordan. Nice to meet you, Imran.
Okay. Let's go and eat then, Jordan.
6 o'clock. What's the time?
It's about